Hello and welcome to this edition of the Edu Leaders Speak series by Education World. I'm Reshma from the Education World, and we have with us today Dr. Sister Arpana. To introduce Dr. Arpana, she is the principal of Mount Carmel College Autonomous, and she's held the post since 2014. She's an alumna of MCC herself. Dr. Arpana has had an extensive teaching experience as an associate professor in the Department of Psychology. An active researcher, she also has several publications to her credit. She was awarded the PhD by Mysore University for her thesis on effectiveness of life skills training on shyness among adolescents. Mount Carmel College is among the top colleges for degree courses and has been consistently ranked among the top institutes in the education world rankings. Welcome, Dr. Arpana. So COVID has opened up doors for a wide range of teaching learning methodologies. And do you really think at this point in time whether the higher education sector is really equipped to accept blended learning as the new?
COVID was the biggest disruptive force that the education sector has ever faced. However, these challenging times also showed the resilience of the teaching fraternity, who adapted and ensured that the student community did not suffer much. Our teachers have experimented immensely and moved successfully towards the blended teaching learning. With technology changing rapidly, teachers need to equip themselves to keep abreast of the changes in the education landscape. We need to get our students back on campus, as online learning can never be equivalent to the real education that involves campus life, peer interaction, and bonding with teachers. At the same time, I strongly believe that blended learning is the future. Given the infrastructure and teacher constraints which plague higher education, blended model will help in taking programs and courses curated by the best of teaching fraternity to every nook and corner of the country. It will also give students the freedom to pick their credits from the institutions of choice or through the MOOC platform, making it a learning driven by choice.
So, Karnataka has, with a lot of pride, declared that it is the first state to implement the National Education Policy 2020. But what is your take on the manner in which the NEP has been implemented? And do you think sufficient homework had been done before bringing this to colleges?
NEP 2020 is an initiative as it makes the education system student-centric with emphasis on multidisciplinary approach, conceptual learning, creativity, and critical thinking. It is a policy which was drafted after consultation with experts at different levels. Karnataka, known to be an educational hub and a progressive state, has taken the lead in the implementation of NEP 2020.
Okay.
Although many were taken by surprise, yet I would give credit to the Karnataka State Higher Education Council for having interacted with educational institutions on a regular basis for a better understanding of the modalities to be followed in the smooth implementation of NEP. At the institutional level, workshops were held for the staff for a better understanding of the NEP and its implementation in letter and spirit. We plan to conduct orientation sessions for both students and parents on NEP and to address all their apprehensions.
What are some of the changes that you think really needs to come in terms of teacher training set up in India?
Success of NEP would be largely dependent on how much the teachers are willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn. There is a need to build a robust teacher training ecosystem at the school and higher education level. Our teachers need to go through annual training programs, regular faculty development programs, which are subject specific, and also in general, skills which would enhance their effectiveness in the classrooms.
Okay.
At the college and university levels, more refresher courses are needed, and I strongly believe that these should be interdisciplinary in nature, as that would be in keeping with the larger goal of NEP. NEP can make a difference if and only if teachers have the urge to be eternal learners.
What is the kind of impact that the pandemic has had on placements at the college? And was there a slump because of the pandemic? And can you tell us about some courses that did really well and some of them that did not?
Undoubtedly, although COVID had disturbed the placement schedule at MCC, the good news is that the companies did come back for campus recruitment after a short delay. The placements seen post-COVID saw a few new trends. Firstly, the onboarding timeline was spread out in the post-COVID period, causing anxiety among students. Secondly, companies preferred to take students as interns initially and convert it into job offers in the future based on performance and need. Maximum number of jobs have emerged in the following verticals: customer engagement, customer acquisition, and business development.
Okay.
There was a sharp rise in the number of recruitments from startups in services and edutech companies.
So, Mount Carmel College has been one of the institutes that is known for offering some in-vogue combinations in courses. So, bearing in mind the impact that the COVID-19 has had on job market, are we looking at some new streams gaining more traction?
The impact of COVID on job market cannot be overlooked. We at MCC do realize the kind of skill sets our students need in the post-COVID world. We propose to introduce courses on data science and analytics, artificial intelligence, and 3D printing, to name a few. We are also looking forward to introduce skill-based courses and vocational courses as envisaged under NEP so that our students are job ready.
If you were to describe your leadership style in a word, what would that be?
To quote a popular African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. As a leader, I believe that my task is to look at the long-term growth of MCC. Hence, during my tenure, I have focused on a democratic and decentralized style of functioning. Through this participative leadership style, I have ensured that a large number of staff get involved in managing the activities of the college, and competent faculty have been trained to take over leadership roles.
What is that one book on education that you would recommend that everyone reads?
Knowledge Infrastructure and Higher Education in India by Kaushalesh La and Shamba Paul.
Okay.
It features the availability and adoption of new education technologies in higher education.
Okay. Okay. And is there one Nobel laureate that you admire?
Saint Teresa of Kolkata.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Arpana, for being with us today. It was a very insightful discussion.
Thank you. Thank you, Reshma.
Thank you.